Rebecca did. Where was Shaw? I've been having issues with that.
I think it
Really,
was.
they're too fun.
For Shaw.
It's slow, it freezes.
Oh.
Can't get on.
It's supposed to be working.
Oh, I was thinking of switching. Yeah.
It was excellent. Just lately.
Yeah. Sidewalks.
Ready to go?
We're ready to go.
Okay, we were talking about, let me get my together here, about the snow removal around the St. Augustine, the school. Requesting, I think we had a couple of questions. Anybody want to continue? Go ahead.
I was just asking about sidewalks that weren't done. If we're liable, or if there's a bylaw that states that, we're supposed to be doing it, and how liable are we if something happens? Like a child gets hit on the road or.
That's something I don't know about. Kathy. The way we do sidewalks are, it's pedestrian traffic. It has to do with pedestrian traffic and time and manpower for us to do.
I just like to know, like, if we're liable if something happens on any of them, not just that one, because I know it's not. There's not a lot of traffic, it's like the kids going to the Valley Market and everything.
Right.
But if we're liable, if something does happen, and the sidewalks aren't done.
I know some municipalities, the actual people have to do the sidewalks, right?
Yeah.
Like this community goes really over the above, trying to clear the sidewalks. Only trouble is, you only can clear so many sidewalks. And my thought was, and I think the infrastructure gang already kind of helped out this situation, because you plowed Boyer now, right?
Yes, we have.
And that was one of the streets in question,
Mhm.
because it's a short one. And I think for now, my answer to the school is, we can't plow Arnett anyways, because there's no sidewalk. Right, it's under construction.
Yes.
Now, maybe next year, if we can bring this forward again, maybe there's some sidewalks in town that are not being used very much, maybe we could switch. At this point, I don't know, but that's why I was asking for that little map, just to maybe update it, and maybe through the winter, maybe just by noticing what sidewalks that are being used and not, maybe we could draw up a couple and do these ones instead by the school zone. I don't know, but I'm just asking that we consider that for next winter. I know we can't do that sidewalk anyways this year, but we are doing Boyer, so that solves half that problem.
Yes.
So I'm hoping, I'm email her back at school, and I want to tell her this what we're going to do, and hopefully that's going to be satisfactory for this year, because we can't plow that sidewalk.
We're doing church here. You guys are doing the high school street now.
Yes, we are.
Well, you switch sides basically.
We
Yeah.
switch sides.
Yeah.
We aren't completely from Mission Road through though yet, because the lights are not up yet, and they haven't completed the sidewalks all the way through.
And I think that's all that helps, like, when she was talking to you, it just, like, you really helped out right away. I mean, way it was easier to do. Just kind of explain that we can't do that, because the little track machine can't not go on level ground, it has to have a sidewalk. Right, to be able to physically go on to plow. So, I mean, that's what I would say in answer to this person. Any other questions?
You got here, say, request a sidewalk snow removal. Which ones they want?
When they did request, it was all of our, they just said Arnott, so they didn't give a length, was it the whole street or just by the school? So
Yes, they're just talking about the school zone.
Usually in the past, all the sidewalks around the school were that. But that's not right up to it,
no, they were not.
if I'm mistaken, Bristol Motel. stop there.
It does stop there.
So now they want it all done. But yet when you clean the sidewalks, no one uses them. They're walking in the middle of the road.
Yeah, that's,
I gotta say, that's what they're doing.
And this-
I'm not gonna lie about it.
and this is, people don't understand how hard it is. Like when they ask a request, because you do that request and then exactly what you say, the sidewalk's plowed and they walk on the street. And then now back to your question of liability, now they didn't walk on the sidewalk, they walked on the street. So does that change liability back to them or us?
Well,
So-
if the sidewalk's plowed and they walk on the street, I mean, that's.
Yeah.
They're limited.
And living in the north where we are, I know physically we can't keep every sidewalk up. It's just impossible. Unless we hire 5 more people or 5 more track machines. And that's the reality of it. So we have to pick and choose. And the only thing I recommend to everybody, like I said, is we're doing Boyer anyways. Now, they only ask for 2 streets. in Arden. Boyer we're doing. And Arden we can't do this year. So that's the answer. Free for this year anyways, and next year, I think if they could make a request early in the season, we could review our sidewalk plowing, and maybe, like I said, maybe over on Klondike, there's a sidewalk that's plowed that's nobody's using it, for instance. So we take that one away and add that instead. But that would have to be a review. So,
Right now, the way I feel like Kathy's idea is that they're looking at the basic, who's responsible for the church around the school. And I think the basic, keep it around the school, and I'll ask them, try to see what the legal terms of liability is, and then bring it to us again. And we'll find out what's going on.
Because we could, I mean, like other municipalities, like you said, we could do that the people that live there are responsible, like other municipalities do. You could look into something like that even, like.
I would say yes, to a point. I think the majority of our demographics, I think our age
Older.
bracket is probably 60%, 65%, 55 and over in this town. So, That's
But look at
another,
other options
that's,
than,
yeah,
like what other municipalities do.
yeah. And that's why I suggest you just leave it as it is. And next year, ask the school to put a request in early in the season, and we could review the sidewalks. And okay, because I don't think we're gonna get anywhere going back
No.
and forth like this. And we are doing part of it, like I said, you got Boyer, and that will make them 50% happy. That's all we do. Good.
Are you gonna go to legal terms if it does happen?
I guess. Yeah, that's an interesting thing, because then that's close, that no matter what you do, no matter where, that's always. Okay, 7.4, council meeting dates. Oh.
So what I have provided to council was a meeting schedule date for the upcoming meetings for the year 2022 in accordance with our procedural bylaw. And what it outlines is that we will have our council meetings every first and third Tuesday of the month, with the exceptions of July, August, and December, wherein those meetings are held on the second day of the month. So with respect to the month of January for 2022, we do have that the meeting schedule, I believe, is the first and third Tuesday in January, and we are recommending that those meeting dates be changed, and we only have one regular council meeting. And that would be on January the 11th, 2022. And then we would have that special meeting on January 25th for the filling of the council vacancy. And if council's in favor, then we
Any
would bring,
January 11th, I will not be available. But after that, it's.
And then, you know what, through the year, it's.
and if council is in favor,
And
then we
these are
bring a
still the
motion.
same Tuesday.
Yes, yes.
It's hard to look at both days. Okay, that's, any more discussion on that? Okay, 7.5 CC, 2021 routine disclosure policy.
Yes, so I prepared a report for council's consideration with respect to routine disclosure. Earlier in the year, the municipality engaged the municipal government wayfinders to conduct the transformational review. And one of the recommendations contained in the review, the consultants identified concerns pertaining to routine disclosures and active dissemination of information, and specifically related to topic AC-05. The consultants identified that the access to information under the Freedom of Information Act can be draining on staff. He had identified that. And they have recommended that we develop a routine disclosure policy so that the frontline staff are aware of the records that are classified as routine and others that are classified as active dissemination. This would improve our transparency and communication through a number of means, and it complies with the MFIPA legislation or the Municipal Freedom of Information and Protection of Privacy Act. And the Information and Privacy Commissioner also recommends that we have this type of policy in place as well. So it would improve our access to records and information, as well as improve our transparency to the public for the release of records. It would be a more efficient and and effective way to provide information and access to the public to the information that we have on file. So what we're saying is that active dissemination is when we have certain documents that are to be shared with the public rather than the public coming in and asking for those records, i.e. minutes or our financial statements. Those would be automatically posted on our website, and we would share information that comes out of council meetings on our website, which we are currently doing, but our policy just reinforces that, yes, that's what we will be doing. And that's considered as active dissemination of information to the public. With respect to routine disclosure, there are various records that people come in and ask for, and then we direct the members of the public to fill out a municipal freedom of information form and pay the required $5 to access that information. What we're saying is that if it's information that is easy for us to access and there is no need to have to redact or withhold information, that we go ahead and we proceed to release information to the public. Any information respecting personal information, third party, or other confidential information is not considered routine, and therefore they would be required to fill a Freedom of Information request form. So the benefits to having the policy, it would make the municipal records available to the public in an easier manner. It'll streamline access to information. It'll provide greater accountability and transparency in our day-to-day operations. And it'll ensure a balance between greater access to information while at the same time protecting personal information and confidential information. It'll reduce staff times and having to respond to formal requests looking for the information, because now it'll be quickly and available for staff to to share with the public. So I have prepared a draft policy for council's consideration. I would ask that all the members of council to please review the policy. And if you have any questions or proposed changes or questions with respect to that policy, I would ask you to either address myself or Maury. And then we'll bring this policy back for council's consideration in the new year. Thank you.
So we've actually had this policy before, it's just updated.
We have one that's called Freedom of Information, but it is an updated version of that policy.
And this is going to provide more information online. for
That's
people to
correct.
access.
That's correct. And easier access to information.
So when they call or, you can just say go to the website, that's on the website.
On the website, or we can get that information quickly to them, rather than having to go through the process of filing the form and bring it back to council.
Okay. 7.6. Large S funding. This is good news, what?
It's very good news and referred to as NORDS funding. The province recently announced the Northern Ontario Resource Development Support Program for communities in Northern Ontario. Specifically, those communities are impacted by surrounding industries in the natural resource sector that aren't contributing to local tax bases. So Wawa qualified along with approximately 140 other municipalities in Northern Ontario. So the Wawa annual contribution will be $108,866, at least for 2021. And it is a per capita based formula. It could adjust slightly in the future, but we can look forward to accumulating over the 5 years of the program, over $500,000 that can go specifically to infrastructure projects that we determine are being impacted by the surrounding development occurring in the region. So I must, on behalf of the municipality and council, submit a report to the province about what council intends to use the funding for, due in early January. So I'm recommending, based on a review of the requirements of the program with a Ministry of Northern Development and Mines representative, that the following programs be considered by council for this funding. I've lumped 2021 and 2022 together for $217,732. My recommendation is that go to fund the airport lighting project. I have confirmed that any expenditures on that project for 2021 are eligible. So the money we already spent is eligible for this funding. The airport lighting project obviously supports the goals of the program to pay for infrastructure affected by surrounding mining and development. But the municipality also made an application, I believe it was August, to FedNor, the federal government, for funding under their federal aviation program, for funding to support the airport lighting. So should that funding be approved by grant, which we hope every day news will come in about, if we receive that funding, then we would use the 217,000, 75,000 of it to go to our share of the airport lighting project, and the 142,000 would go forward to the water intake valve and filters capital project that's required in 2022. And council will hear more about in terms of details of this critical piece of infrastructure at our lower lift station that we're recommending on Thursday evening at our capital budget presentation. So basically the money would be earmarked for the airport lighting project, but should we get funding from the federal government, then it would be split between the airport lighting and the sewer intake project. And these do meet with the program requirements. For the 2023-24 funding pot of 217,000, we would also recommend that council designate that these funds go to our water treatment plant filters and water intake plant upgrades or similar water and sewer project. We can demonstrate that there's an impact to increase the usage of our water system and our sewer system because of the increased activity in the community, so it fits the program requirements. And in the final year of the 108,000, the funding would support projects such as pavement preservation, where roads are being used by more activity due to surrounding resource use. And a future decision of council may be made at any time. Council can change its mind or reallocate it to another project. So staff are proposing to allocate these funds beginning in the 2022 capital budget. And we will look forward to council supporting our recommendations tonight just verbally, and put forward a motion in the future if required to build provincial requirements. So I also want to note that along with NORDS, which was a complete good surprise for the municipality, we receive every year funding under the Ontario Community Infrastructure Program, and the acronym is OCIF, which you may have heard about through the years. Well, the provincial government doubled every municipality's allocation for 2022. So normally we would get, and it fluctuated, but in 2021, we got $270,000. So in 2022, a substantial increase of our grant will go to $485,000. So two good news stories I'm happy to share with Mayor and Council.
Question. So we get 108,000 a year, 5 years. Did we borrow money off ourselves and spend those in one shot?
Yes, you can allocate those funds annually into a reserve and use it for one project, provided the funding is spent completely by March 31st, 2026.
Okay, interesting. And the community centers, does anything ever happen to the grants for infrastructure for that?
Yeah, and so we did apply last year for an ICIP, all these acronyms, but it's the Federal Provincial Infrastructure Community Program. We were declined, but we have been invited to apply again to the ICIP Green Fund. So right now, an application is being reviewed and will be submitted before December 31st. That application, we will again highlight council on Thursday evening's budget meeting, some background to what's being applied for. As we've talked before with council, the HVAC, the roofing, floor repairs, lighting, heaters. So we will fill in council on Thursday if you'd like more details on the project, but funding is being applied for up to $3.5 million under the ICIP Green Fund for the arena. And on top of that, we are eligible to stack a provincial program with that ICIP program. So we're also making a dual application at the same time to the Northern Ontario Heritage Fund Corporation, acronym NOHFC, you may hear that, for up to $1 million. And we've been working with our local MNDM community officer to make that application. So I know that our Director of Community Services has shared the draft application with both the Manuel and I, and we're just in the midst of reviewing it, and our intention is it'll be out to our door before December 31st.
Any other questions? If we get a verbal, if council agrees with Maury's recommendation, can we get a verbal support from council to show show of hands to support the recommendation contained in this?
Thank you.
Cool. Number 8, there's no in-camera session. 9, all for adjournment. Can we have a mover? Mr. Hatfield. And we'll close the meeting at 7:53. Matthew, what is traffic?
You can decide eventually just want to.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, we need the regular
Yes.
agenda. Does you need anything else? Just the agenda, basically.
Mhm. has one.
Yeah, you have one.
Yeah, I got it. Thanks. Okay. Call to order and those members present. Thank you for being here. Number 2, disclosure of pecuniary interest, any? Seeing none. Approval agenda. That's a motion.
Moved by Councillor Shason, seconded by Councillor Hatfield. Resolved that the agenda for the regular meeting of council scheduled for Tuesday, December 14, 2021 be approved as presented.
All in favor? Motion carried. Delegations and presentations. Seeing none. Announcements and giving of notice. Does anybody have any announcements? I got a couple announcements here. There'll be a special council meeting on Thursday, December 16th, 7 o'clock. That'll be to review the capital budget for 2022. Also like to comment that I think this will be the first time for this year, before the year starts, that we're going to review the capital budget. So that is really good. Well done. Awesome. Thank you very much for your hard work putting this together. Also, I'd like to congratulate Morgan D. Ledbetter for her recent crowning of Miss Northern Ontario, which was held in Sudbury. She's an excellent ambassador for the community of Wawa. And for those who know her, Miss Ledbetter was a student employee for the municipality of Wawa. Thank you. Congratulations, Morgan D. Well done. And also, there's notice of meetings that took place. Adoption of minutes.
Moved by Councillor Hatfield, seconded by Councillor Cannon. Resolved that the following minutes of the meeting of council be adopted as presented. Minutes of a regular meeting of council held on Tuesday, November 16, 2021, as contained on pages 1 to 6, inclusive of the minute book.
All in favor? Motion carried. Correspondence, we received a letter from CECOM for, I think I wrote that down somewhere, and I paid it down. We're gonna be doing, rehabilitation from, on 101 East for 18 kilometers. That's basically all of Wall Lake, I think.
Well, Lake's vote. Okay.
Just said rehabilitation, I had culverts, ditches, probably some rock cuts, some frost heaves probably. Yeah. And also on Highway 17, at number 2 culvert at Catfish Creek. Roadblocks. Yeah, so a lot of trucks are waiting, so we get this done. Okay. Consent agenda. Approval of the consent agenda. There's a motion.
Moved by Councillor Shason, seconded by Councillor Hatfield. Resolved that the items listed under consent agenda, items 8.2 to 8.9, be approved as recommended.
All in favor? Motion carried. One thing I'd like to bring to attention, the change in the meeting date in 2022. The next meeting will be held on January the 11th, not the 18th. Okay, there's a number of other committee meetings, board meetings, adoption of strategic plan that's in there. Staff reports. There's a motion to receive the staff reports.
Moved by Councillor Shason, seconded by Councillor Hatfield. Resolved that the Council of the Corporation of the Municipality of Wawa does hereby receive the following staff reports, a copy of which are attached here to A, CC 2021-11, routine disclosure policy, and B, DB 2021-07, report for the months of October and November 2021.
All in favor? Motion carried. Number 10, business arising out of the previous meeting, seeing none, we move on to the next item. New business. Point Mayor to Algoma District Services Administration Board resolution. New business.
Moved by Councillor Cannon, seconded by Councillor Shaso. Resolved that the Council of the Corporation, the Municipality of Walwood does hereby appoint Mayor Pat Tate as the council representative to the Algoma District Services Administration Board.
All in favor? Motion carried. Notice of motion. Please note, number 12, notice of motion. Please note that the notice of motion for the budget, this is a notice to the public advising of council's intent to consider the 2022 capital and operating budget in early 2022. The municipality is required to provide 2 weeks advance notice on the municipal website in accordance with its notice policy number PR-004. We are giving this notice to keep the public informed. Bylaws, 13.1, first, second, and third reading, considerations for bylaws.
Moved by Councillor Hatfield, seconded by Councillor Shaso. Resolved that the following bylaws be introduced and read first, second, and third time, and finally passed, and that the mayor and clerk do sign and seal the same. Any rule of this council to the contrary notwithstanding. Bylaw number 3431-21 to adopt policy number GG07, delegation of powers and duties of council. Bylaw number 3449-21 to confirm the proceedings of council at its meeting held on the 14th day of December 2021. Bylaw number 3450-21 to authorize the corporation of the municipality of Walwood to enter into an automatic aid fire protection agreement with the Mishpachot First Nation. Bylaw number 3451-21 to authorize the corporation of the municipality of Walwood to enter into an automatic aid fire protection agreement with the Hawk Junction Local Services Board. Bylaw number 3452-21 to appoint a treasurer and deputy treasurer for the municipality of Walwood. Bylaw number 3453-21 to authorize the corporation of the municipality of Walwood to enter into an agreement with Everything Floors respecting the provision of janitorial services for the municipal office building, 40 Broadway Avenue, and the Wawa IT and Training Center, 3 Maple Street, Wawa, in the municipality of Wawa. Bylaw number 3454-21 to establish a property tax and to adopt a tax rate for the new multi-residential for the municipality of Wawa. Bylaw number 3455-21 to authorize the sale of municipal land to Mr. William Barner, described as Plan M26, Lot 52, 53, and 54, Plan 1R 13852, Part 5 and 6 of Laneway located on Brock Avenue. Bylaw number 3456-21 to authorize the sale of municipal land to Angela Kalaisi and Mark Klusch, described as Plan M26, Lot 8 and 51, Plan 1R 13852, Part 4 of Laneway located on Brock Avenue. Bylaw number 3457-21 to enter into a tenancy agreement with Sheila Palo respecting the lease of a residential apartment located at 96 Broadway Avenue, upper floor, Wawa, Ontario.
Quite a list. We have no other items on the agenda. I'd like to make a verbal motion, possible if council would consider it. I'd like to reschedule the Thursday's budget meeting. I'd like to ask if we could reschedule a Thursday special budget meeting to Friday at noon. The reason why I'm asking, I'd like to go to a week on Thursday night.
I'm not gonna be around for that one.
Isn't that
Is any time will suit for you?
Schedule was for the 7th.
That's fine. Okay, no, we'll leave it to where it is. Don't worry about it. That's good.
Yeah. Get anything that's canceled. I can't give you an answer right now.
That's fine. Okay, 14, closed session.
Mr. Mayor, could we just go back and call the question for the bylaws?
Considered by us, all in favor? All in favor? Motion carried.
Thank you.
We had it at the beginning of this. Closed session, business arising from closed session. Next meeting, wow. Tuesday, January 11th. German meeting. Concludes tonight's meeting. Thank you, everyone. We'll close at 8:04.
So I have a motion moved by Councillor Kenneth that the resolve that the meeting closed at 8:04 PM.
All in favor? Motion carried. Thank you very much.